Hey everybody, this is Kody Bateman coming to you from Salt Lake City, Utah. Welcome to this week's Relationship Marketing Weekly show. Very excited for this week's rendition. We've got an incredible guest on with us here today. Before I announce him, I just want to reach out to everybody who's dialing in right now and say hello to you. And of course, you can make your comments here. We have people that listen in to this show from all over the world. In fact, we have a guest today from across the pond. We've got our first guest from the United Kingdom is on the call today. His name is Adam Redshaw from City of Coventry in the United Kingdom. Adam, welcome to our show today.
Thanks for the invite, Kody. Thanks for having me on the show. Looking forward to having a chat.
Well, we appreciate you being on the show today. You run a very, very unique business, cover a very unique sport, if you will, and we'll get into that in a second. First of all, it's I think it's like 8 p.m. In the UK time right now, and it's 1 o'clock here in Salt Lake City. So we appreciate you taking the time this evening, in your evening, to be on the show today. So Adam, you're in the publishing business. You run a magazine, a very specialty magazine. So I'm real excited about this show today because I've been in the publishing business. I've seen how magazines run their businesses, and I have never interviewed, nor do I have any stories of big time publishers using our services or using our relationship marketing system. So I'm real excited to learn from you today on some of the things that you do. So again, Adam Redshaw, he runs a publishing company, and he has a geocaching magazine. So he covers the subject of geocaching. Now I got to confess, Adam, until yesterday, I really didn't know what geocaching was. I've certainly learned since then. Tell us a little bit about what geocaching is in the first place and why you have a passion for it.
Yeah, certainly. Geocaching is a GPS-based treasure hunt. So you use either a dedicated GPS, an outdoors GPS as opposed to a car sat nav, and then an app on a mobile phone. And what you do, it's kind of like playing hide and seek. You go and find a real physical container, which could be something really, really small like this, that's magnetic on the back of a signpost. Or you might go and find a large sort of Tupperware box that somebody might have hidden inside a hollow tree in the local wood. You might go and find one or two geocaches at a time, or you might go out on a nice trail and go on a nice hike. I'm trying to think of the language here because over here we would say walk, and I think you guys use trails and hikes. So I'm just trying to change some of the language for predominantly an American audience.
Yeah, so it sounds really interesting. It's a great way for people to get out in the outdoors and to have some adventurous activity, use modern technology to do it and that kind of thing. And quite a big following because you've actually created a magazine that covers this topic, and you have feature stories, and I'm sure you have advertisers and different people on there that support your magazine. So this is a big deal.
Yeah, there's about 160,000 people doing geocaching here in the UK. Worldwide, there's about 15 million people trying to find this.
That's amazing.
There's over 3 million things hidden.
That is absolutely amazing. I got to get into this. This sounds like a lot of fun. I'm going to have to get your publication so I can learn a little bit about it. And yeah, do you have a copy of one there?
Here you go. I'll pass it over to you.
That's great. So the magazine you publish 6 times a year, so every other month.
Yep, 6 times.
Printed and an online version, is that right?
Yep, so you'll find it on the App Store for your chosen smartphones.
And what's the name of the magazine?
UK Cache Mag, and it's CACHE in terms of storage.
UA Cache Mag.
UK.
I'm sorry, UK Cache Mag. Okay, great. That's the name of it. All right, so very, very cool. Now, so basically your business model is you're a publisher, you publish a magazine. Like we mentioned, you have advertisers and suppliers, and you have subscribers.
Yes.
So people subscribe to either the online or the printed version, or can they get both? Can they get both?
Some people have both.
Okay. All right. So you actually have a system, and you utilize our system here at Send Out Cards, but you have a system where you send tangible touches out to subscribers, to suppliers, and things like that. Can you just walk us through a little bit? What kind of things do you do to stay top of mind with your subscribers?
Okay, well, I'm like many people, I'm watching social media all the time. So if somebody says, oh, we've just been out and we've placed a whole new series of geocaches, as the magazine and as the geocaching guy, I will send them oh, that's really cool that you're adding to the geocaching community. I would love to feature your story in the magazine. If somebody has then sent me a story, I send them a thank you card because it's nice that they've bothered to write an article for me to take some photos. And more importantly, that they've trusted me to share that story with my readership. So I'm building a really big community around the geocaching, and people are trusting me with some very personal stories to share. So people that have met their other half through geocaching, maybe they've sort of proposed in a geocaching style, they will share that story with me, sorry. On the other hand, I've had people that have suffered with mental health and depression, and through geocaching, they've become much more aware of what's going on. They've got out, they've done something sociable that's helped them boost their confidence, their morale, and it's really giving them a boost in themselves. So they thank geocaching for that. So I thank them for thanking geocaching. It goes round and round in circles, but it's really good. I've got people that have supported the magazine and said to me, yeah, you're doing a really good job. It's coming on leaps and bounds. Publishing is a hard game, a real hard game, especially to launch a niche title. So a lot of people said, your magazine's not going to work. Yeah. So I really, really do appreciate the people that have supported my magazine, not in terms of buying a subscription, but the people that supported me and said, yes, it's really good. You're on a good line. You're getting some really good feedback with what you're doing. And they've supported it as a business and a project. Yes, I appreciate the subscribers as well, because without subscribers, there's no need for a magazine. But there's a lot of people that have supported me in the journey of getting the magazine from where it is. So I share that with them. I thank them.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, I got to believe that there's a lot of word of mouth that takes place with this anyway, because geocaching is a very special thing. And if I'm into geocaching and I want, to tell a friend about getting into geocaching as a hobby or sport or whatever, it's only natural that I might say, hey, there's this magazine you can get. So I got to believe there's some word of mouth aspect. But if you couple that with the activity that you do, so there's already some natural word of mouth, but then on top of that, you send people physical, real greeting cards in the mail, thanking them for subscribing.
And brownies as well.
And sometimes brownies as well. Yeah. So what I got to imagine that you're actually escalating the word of mouth even bigger as a result of doing that. So a lot of naysayers said you couldn't get this magazine off the ground. And by using this strategy, not only have you gotten this magazine off the ground, you're having great success with it. So that's a big, big story. It's really important. And I hope a lot of publishers are out there listening to this right now, because this is not a traditional marketing tactic that a publisher would ever. In fact, I've never heard of it. No. I've never heard of a publisher doing this kind of thing.
I think what's different is I come from a very much, the magazine is there to support the community. I'm not necessarily in publishing to sell a magazine full of adverts with 2 or 3 articles. For me, it's much more about the editorial, the content, the community. Yeah, if people want to read adverts, they can go online, they can Google. We've all got the internet. You can find access to all the products you want. And, the companies will spend lots and lots of money promoting. So because the magazine is much more about the people and the culture of geocaching, I really appreciate the people that are buying into what I do.
So now part of what you do, it looks like I'm just looking at my notes here. The part of what you do is oftentimes you will sponsor events, like geocaching events that you may sponsor or tell people about. And not only do you rely on the magazine for that, but you actually reach out with greeting cards, inviting people to events. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we have some big events in the UK that are called mega events. So there are over 500 people turning up at these. Well, over 500 to be classed as a mega event. In reality, we end up with two, nearly coming up sometimes 3,000. So there's a lot of people turning up at these rallies.
Yeah.
And people that I haven't seen for a while, people that have sent an article, I'll say, looking forward to catching up with you at the mega. Hopefully, we'll see you there.
Wow, that's great. So you do a lot of card sending. You send a lot of stuff out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you also mentioned a little bit about, and this has got to happen in the publishing business all the time, where your publication or the my subscription may lapse. Like I just didn't get my renewal in or something like that, and I subscribe to several magazines, and a lot of times, it's just you're out of sight, out of mind, and you just forget. You don't get it in, and you actually reach out to subscribers that have lapsed.
Yeah.
So tell us, what do you do there, and what kind of results does that give you?
Yeah, because I've got the names and addresses and bits and pieces of people, quite often I connect with my readers on social media. They find the magazine through Facebook, so I can see where they're going, what they're doing. So I can see that they're still out geocaching. So yeah, I'll drop them a card to say, yeah, I see you've just done, a 5 mile hike or 5 kilometer hike. Hopefully that was really good. Would you like to share a story in UK Cash Mag? And off the back of that, they might say, oh yeah, well, actually, we must renew our subscription. It's not a case of I'm saying, give me your money, resubscribe. I'm doing it in a nice way, keep reaching out to them. I can see they're still active in the game, so maybe they've still got an interest in the magazine.
Now, I want to make sure that our listeners really heard what you just said, because it was so powerful. Oh, this is so good, Adam. This is so good, because you're talking about things that we teach all the time. What you just said is it's not about the getting the subscription renewed. It's about keeping a connection with a person interested in geocaching.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of, correct me if I'm wrong, but what you're saying is, instead of sending a card saying, hey, you lapsed, you knucklehead, when do you going to send me in your money, because you need to keep the magazine going? Which, and I know I'm being a little crazy with a little exaggerated with that, but that is how some of those announcements come across to you. You come in, hey, you've lapsed. What would you like to use? Which credit card would you like to use to upgrade your subscription today? So when I get that kind of a response, I'm just a subscriber to you. But you do it totally different. You reach out and celebrate their geocaching, and even ask them if they want to, watch them on Facebook and stuff. It's just a very, very unique approach, and I got to believe it makes your users or your subscribers really feel that you care about them. You care about the community of geocaching, which is really cool.
So one of an example, and this is all about relationships, is that one of the geocachers here in the UK put up a photo of his son out geocaching and said, wouldn't this be great as a cover for the magazine? So I went onto social media. I used that image, the same as people might use an image that somebody shared on social media in a personalized card. Well, I've done a personalized magazine, which has gone out all over the world with his photo on it. And he's over the moon, and his son's over the moon.
Wow, that's really, really good stuff. So you have I always like to feature card stories. It kind of gets to the heart of things. You have a card story about a young lady that you reached out to. Could you share that with us? That might be a way for us to kind of wrap the show up today.
Yes, certainly. Geocaching, as I say, is a GPS treasure, and it's all about getting out, walking, and having fun outdoors. Doing that, you're having physical health, mental health benefits. Your body's releasing endorphins, adrenaline's going, and that's got a real good feel factor. Now, there was a lady who was relatively new to geocaching, and she was saying that through geocaching, it's really helped boost her self-confidence. She's much more, happy to go out and about now. She's not as bothered about anxiety and what people are thinking about her. She's going out, she's getting covered in mud, diving in and out of hedges and bushes, looking for a Tupperware box. Now, a lot of people would would not want to do that. But this lady who's got some issues has gone out, she's done that, and it's made such a positive difference to her life that she shared her story with me in the magazine. Naturally, a card goes back thanking her for sharing that. And I get stories like that come through all the time. Some don't always go in the magazine because people don't want to share it as publicly. But people do get a card from me thanking them for the stories.
Well, Adam, I really want to applaud you because you have something you're passionate about, the geocaching community, and you found a way through that niche to serve your fellow human beings. Just like this lady who, through geocaching, she found something that was fun that she could hang on to. She could get some physical activity and those kinds of things. And you reached out to her, and I'm telling you right now, without even knowing her, I guarantee you really made her feel important, because she is important. She's a human being who has feelings and needs and desires and goals just like all of us. And you reached out to that person, made them feel that sense of worth, allowed her to share her story in your magazine. And not only that, then you thanked her on top of that after the fact. And I just got to tell you, that's the kind of world we're trying to create here, my friend. We're trying to create a world of kindness. And you're certainly doing a great thing in a very unique way to do that. So we really appreciate you. Any final words of wisdom from Adam, all the way from the UK? Any final message you want to share with our audience? Go ahead.
Oh, that's an interesting. Okay, this one is not my words of wisdom. It's just something I picked up from a company called Pike Place Fish Market that are based in Seattle. They came up with a very big thing that's called the fish philosophy. I could go into a lot of detail, but it's 4 very simple things. Choose your attitude. A lot in stuff in life is hard work. Sending out cards, it's hard work. Choose your attitude. Get it happening. That's the first one. The second, be there. So really focus on what's happening. So at the minute, I've got your face behind me. I'm not even looking at you, Kody, or trying not to. What I'm trying to do is to look into the camera for the viewers, because I'm talking to them as much as I'm talking to you, right. And I'm having to look away from the camera now. I'm trying to be here for the people that are watching. Yeah. So if it looks as though my eyeline's doing this all the time, that's why. So be there. Concentrate on the people you're having the conversations with, because if you're not listening, you're going to miss opportunities. And you never know where those little tiny opportunities are going to take you. Be there. And then the most important one is make their day. Make their day. Not in a Clint Eastwood, go ahead. But this is really about appreciating people, thanking them, giving them a boost when they need a boost, giving them a pat on the shoulder when they've done something well. And if it includes sending a card and some brownies or any of the other ways that you can build and strengthen those relationships, it doesn't have to be cards. It can be just a simple text. Yep. Make their day. That's perhaps the most important thing. Make their day.
Well, you heard it from Adam Redshaw, coming all the way from city of Coventry, United Kingdom, which is 120 miles north of London. Again, it's approaching about 8:15, 8:20 there now. And we appreciate you taking the time to be with us today, Adam. I've learned a lot. I'm a better person for having listened to your stories and your passion. So thank you very much. God bless everybody. And we'll see you next week on another version of our Relationship Marketing Weekly show. Take care, everybody. We'll see you now.